What I teach in mental health conversation skills for sales managers of remote teams is the ability to actually notice what the signs are and then actually have the conversation and to connect in.
Welcome back, everybody, and delighted to have you with me, and delighted to have Bill Carson with me. G'day, Bill.
Hi. Hello, John. Glad to be here.
And you, mate. Look, there's so much happening in COVID at the moment, particularly in the sales world. I'm really concerned that a lot of sales managers find their people struggling but don't know what to do about it. And particularly mental health, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, they're sitting at home. Their salespeople are often sitting at home doing the sales from home. They're not used to that environment. They haven't got their peers around them to bounce questions around, and they get very isolated. And as managers, we should be able to pick up on the fact that this guy's struggling.
Yeah, and so the signs will be essentially two fundamental things: a fight response, which is to blame, complain, making things wrong, or a shame response, which is they internalize, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, some version of that. And the manager will see some form of shift or change in behavior.
Question is, do all managers pick up on that? Or is it something we should learn to help us pick up on it?
Yeah, so, what I teach in mental health conversation skills for sales managers of remote teams is the ability to actually notice what the signs are and then actually have the conversation and to connect in and have the conversation. And most managers don't know how to have the conversation. They kind of don't want to. They are afraid of overstepping the mark. They're afraid of maybe making it worse. They don't know what to say. So there's all kinds of complications.
But we've all been taught these days to say, are you okay? I mean, isn't that as simple as a manager? He picks up on some signs and just says, are you okay?
Yeah, so just imagine, John, if I'm going through some stuff and you're my boss, what's the safety for me to say, hey, look, I'm struggling? And more than likely, I'm not going to tell you that I'm going through any difficulty. Are you okay is a closed question. As we know, you're going to get yes or a no. And so what will often happen is that they'll say, yeah, I'm fine. So what I teach is the ability to kind of like expand out, like not immediately sort of, well, I've noticed. No, kind of connect in, build the trust to be able to expand out the conversation.
And okay, how do you go through that process? What sort of skills do you need?
Yeah, the fundamental skills are, first of all, one, a capacity to actually take your sales manager problem-solving hat off, because this is not a problem-solving conversation. This is not your problem. Yes, their performance is impacted. It's a person-centered guiding conversation where you're connecting in with the person. So I use the word connecting and not checking. So we're connecting in, and then where the focus of the conversation is on the other person, with, connecting in, see how you're traveling, you're a really important part of the team, and wondering how you're going. And then from that, getting a response, and then listening to that response, and then so potentially taking a little bit further. And encouraging then the manager to listen for what the person might be struggling with, and then providing the manager with a set of different levels of resources that the manager could ask the question about to potentially help their team member.
But you're not suggesting a sales manager needs to be a psychologist or a psychiatrist or whatever. In fact, I'd be thinking that'd be very dangerous, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Under no circumstances planned therapist or doctor. It's the same with physical first aid. Like if anyone's ever done physical first aid, are you a doctor? No way. What you kind of learn is a level of severity of situations. So this is I teach mental health first aid, and that's a 12-hour program. In the mental health conversation skills, it's 3 hours. So it's really giving the managers just an awareness, and then the capacity to actually demonstrate that they care, but also knowing what the boundaries are. Sometimes the managers, don't want to overstep the mark. Totally understandable.
It's almost like triage, isn't it? From what
Yeah.
I understand. So you're trying to go feel for what the situation is to ultimately make a decision about next step.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Which is the right
absolutely.
next step.
Yeah, and the main theme is that it's not the manager's responsibility to, it's not like a coaching conversation where you essentially make the person accountable. Okay, so you're going to go and see your EAP or the doctor or whatever. You're actually helping the individual come to their own awareness. Now, there are boundaries around the number of conversations that you have, and that's what we cover in the workshop, so that managers understand what that is, and they can be really helpful for their team members rather than just let them go.
So, Bill, what's your bottom line on the message you want to get out to the managers there?
Yep. So my final message to sales managers is you got to be so careful that you're not actually analyzing and assessing your people through the lens of yourself, meaning that how do you actually know how effective they are only based on their activity and on their results? I mean, it's correlated, but there are some people who just aren't getting results because they're just not capable. And so for you as a sales leader to identify what specific development they need, that's where assessment would be very, very useful.
All right, that makes
Thanks,
sense
John.
to me. Good message for the sales managers out there. Unlike a sports coach, it's very hard to be there all the time identifying where the skills and capabilities are. The right sort of knowledge-based, sales knowledge-based test will help you do that. Bill, thanks for the message. Look forward to the next time.